What's up, guys? This is your boy Red Riot here, doing a review for Spider-Man number 800. Go ahead and like and subscribe my video, or dislike. Either which way. I need feedback. I need likes, dislikes. I need to know what I could do to improve the channel. But anyways, let's jump into this, guys. Oh yeah. So basically, I'm gonna have to do a little previously on Spider-Man. So basically, all Spider-Man's sidekicks, Miles Morales, Flash Thompson, Silk, even the Human Torch. Actually, I forgot he was actually in this comic. But yeah, even the Human Torch, they all came to help him fight against the Red Goblin. Once they realized that the Red Goblin didn't have the same weaknesses as either the symbiote or the Green Goblin, they realized he was basically unbeatable. So this is the aftermath of that. I thought this was pretty funny. You get to see everybody's own personality and stuff like that. Miles Morales is basically a clone of Peter Parker. Just checking to see if he's all right. He says, "Not here right now. Leave a message." I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, so at this point, everybody all the other Spider-Men are down. Peter with his broken leg, he's having to basically jump into action and try to save the day by himself. So we have this scene. Peter, he's still trying to check on the Osborn family to see if they're safe. We got Jonah Jameson here trying to basically find a plan to help Peter, because Jameson revealed Peter's identity to the Red Goblin, and now he knows exactly who he is and stuff. Everything Jonah basically did in this comic has made everything worse. Like, everything that he tried to do, even though it's coming from the bit of his heart, has made everything worse. And he really feels that at this point. Right here, he's trying to really, he's just, rambling through his mind or whatever, talking about having to fight fire with fire, trying to really think of a plan. And the plan was for him to contact Eddie Brock and, try to get in contact with him about helping Spider-Man fight the Red Goblin. So it turns out, Eddie Brock in his own town, his own little secret, whatever he got going on, he's basically pulling the little Spider-Man stunt. Like, he's a photographer somewhere else, and he's basically taking shots of pictures of Venom that only he could get or whatever. So, and just a quick note, the events of the events of Eddie Brock and that #1 Venom that just came out, this actually happened before that, and it says it somewhere in here. Yeah, it says right there, editor's note. This takes place before May's Venom #1. So, yeah. Alright, and then we have Spider-Man, who's trying to stay undetected, because he had an agreement with the Red Goblin that if the original Spider-Man, as in Peter Parker, didn't get involved, that he wouldn't try to go after Mary Jane or Aunt May or anything like that. So he's trying to stay undetected as long as possible. But he finds out soon that is long gone. Red Goblin already knows that he's here. He's killed all the security guards, and he actually launches a surprise attack against Peter. And the thing is that the Red Goblin, him being a symbiote, he doesn't set off Peter's spider sense. So that was really the biggest disadvantage that Peter could have had, along with the messed up leg. We got Stark Tower right here. Mary Jane at Stark Tower. Eddie Brock breaks through the window, trying to save her, trying to help her, but she doesn't realize that, Eddie and Mary Jane's history has Venom. So she basically sets Venom on fire. The Red Goblin comes. This is not going to affect him at all. He's just laughing at Venom like, he still have that old symbiote weakness and whatnot. So the Red Goblin and Venom, they duking it out, throwing hands inside Stark Tower. Then you have Aunt May. Oh man, Aunt May's clueless to Normie Osborn, who was infected with the Red Goblin symbiote the last issue. I forgot to say that. So here you have him about to jump on her, about to kill her. And what do you know? Superior Spider-Man himself, Otto Octavius, comes to save the day. This surprised the shit out of me. I did not see this coming whatsoever. Dr. Octopus really has a soft spot for Aunt May. He really does. But yeah, so they proceed to fight. He proceeds to basically save Aunt May from this child, and she still hasn't realized that he is evil at this point. So she's like ridiculing Otto Octavius, but he's trying to let her know, like, yeah, I'm here to help you. Then we have Spider-Man showing up to Stark Tower, ready to fight the Red Goblin. He was surprised as hell to see Venom, so he's thinking he got to fight both of them at the same time. But he was welcome Venom with open hands to help him. And this is where things get interesting. The Red Goblin leaves, and Spider-Man and Venom basically realize that the only way for them to get out of this alive, or for them to basically beat the Red Goblin, is for Spider-Man to get the red suit again. Spider-Man to get the black suit again. You know, he really took control of the symbiote. And this, well, Peter Parker and the symbiote in this comic book, they really have a completely different relationship than ever before. Peter's actually talking to the symbiote, joking around with it at certain points, you know. But yeah, then we see Flash Thompson basically using his healing powers to heal everybody else, you know, use every bit of energy that he had to, you know, finish this off, or to get them back up and running. You got Jonah Jameson, who's still trying to help, still trying to be messy as fuck. He actually busts in the house with inside a spider slayer, ready to fight fucking Otto Octavius like an idiot. And Red Goblin's right there looking at them like, what is going on? Like, y'all fighting each other, I'm the villain, you know, what are y'all doing? So Spider-Man, you know, is on his way over to the building. He rushes in there. He's thinking Aunt May's dead, so he basically cuts Jonah Jameson off. He's like, you know, I tried everything I could, you know, it wasn't enough, and he basically just smashed the screen. Jonah Jameson's just like, I'm the biggest fuck up in the world, and Peter has no more tolerance for him at this point. Aunt May's actually alive. Dr. Octopus used his last efforts in order to take the blast that Red Goblin had delivered towards her. I actually don't know if Octopus was alive at the end of this book, matter of fact. But yeah. So basically, Osborn's plan was to infect his grandson so they could be two Red Goblins, and then basically get control of his old company and, you know, just be on top of the world again. Then we have Harry Osborn fighting him on an old Green Goblin glider board. You know, he was ready to go, had the robots and everything. Like, Dad, I'm taking you out. Yeah, he was not trying to play with his dad at all. But through the comic, we midway see Normie basically have a change of heart. He wasn't as evil as we thought. It was actually the symbiote, and he's calling for his mommy and daddy. Basically, he turned on his grandfather. He's scared now. He doesn't want to kill anybody. The only person he really wanted to kill was Spider-Man, because he thought he was the bad guy. And now Normie realizes that he's the bad guy, so he wants to be back on the right side. Let's see what else happened. Red Goblin infected all of Peter's loved ones, including the Spider-Man and Silk Spider-Woman, with these needle devices that he was gonna all shoot in their head at the same exact time, at the snap of the fingers, basically killing them. So at this moment, you know, we actually get to see Red Goblin snap his fingers and you know, try to pull this off. Oh, here goes this part. Look at this shit. So eventually Peter loses control of the symbiote suit and becomes full-blown Venom. Like, he became Venom with the tongue and everything, like, and became super strong. Super punched the Red Goblin into Times Square. Red Goblin sees a guy dressed up like Spider-Man right here, and he's just like, and look at you, what are you even supposed to be anyway? And fucking puts his hand through his entire body, killing him on the spot. Like, he did not come to play at all. Like, he just finally realized that going after Aunt May and Mary Jane didn't mean anything to Spider-Man. You know, it just, everybody means something to Spider-Man. So he could just kill a bunch of civilians and basically get to him, make him weaker, you know, whatever the case he thought he was gonna do. But at this point, Spider-Man realizes what his exact weakness is. It's not anything physical. It's the fact that he has two personalities within this one body. He has Cassidy and he has Norman Osborn. And both of them want the credit for killing Spider-Man, but since he is the Carnage Green Goblin, or the Red Goblin, it's going to be Carnage that gets the credit for it. So at this point, Norman basically, Spider-Man releases his symbiote, Norman releases his symbiote, and they have a final one-on-one battle, basically, to just end it all. Just so the Green Goblin could be the one to kill Spider-Man, and he definitely gets credit for it. Spider-Man still struggling, you know, still not at 100%. Jonah Jameson is on running to the scene basically to see this fight, to try to see what he can do to help him. So Spider-Man defeats the Green Goblin. He defeats the Green Goblin as the red symbiote is trying to latch back on him. You know, he makes a car explode. Jonah Jameson is determined to kill the Green Goblin, shoot him in the head with a bullet, just so he won't go to jail and come right back out and do this all over again. In the wake of it, he shoots Spider-Man, who's trying to protect the Green Goblin. And he basically tells him, you know, I did it because I could. I'm not just going to go doing crazy stuff because I have the power to, but if I have the power to do the right thing, I will, always. So, end of the comic, we see Norman Osborn in a cell. Spider-Man goes to visit him, and he asks him, you know, are you going to tell everybody who I am? Are you going to tell everybody my secret? Are you going to tell everybody my secret identity? And he says, you know, I know who you are. I know who you are, whatever. And Spider-Man asks him, who am I? And he replies, you are Norman Osborn. And Spider-Man just says, okay. And he says, and who are you again? And he says, Cassidy. So Norman Osborn is dead. Cassidy's in his body. This is pretty crazy. It's a pretty wild comic. This part right here tripped me out. They thought that they had the red symbiote taken off of Normie. You know, everything was all good. Harry Osborn tells his son he loves him no matter what. No matter what. No matter what. And look what we see in his eye. What is coming next? Wow. And through all the trouble, Flash Thompson died. The anti-venom, he died. So, you know, just basically set Peter straight again. It's telling him, you know, basically, I need to do what I need to do, no matter if people are dying or not. This needs to be done by somebody, and I'm able to do it. So, yeah, that's the end of Amazing Spider-Man number 800, guys. It's actually a really good comic. It's 80 pages. I give it a 9 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5. Must read. Like and subscribe. Go follow me on Twitter in order to win some free comics, you know. Not even win them, I'm just giving them out. Like, stay on Twitter all day. Look for my tweets, giving out free comics. Peace, guys.